Sterling. Hi, James. Sophia Soto with the Nerds of Color. And first of all, this series is so insanely good. I can't even tell you guys. Congratulations.
Let's go.
Very nice to hear.
People are going to be on the edge of their seat week after week, guys. You guys are so good. And these questions are going to be for both of you. You guys can talk spoilers up till episode 4. But the first thing I want to ask you is, what is your favorite aspect about how the concept of like paradise and what that looks like is explored throughout the series? Because I think it was so interesting how it was done.
World building is always just like a fascinating thing in and of itself. We were very fortunate enough to get John Requa and Glenn Ficarra to be the directors of our first 2 episodes and of our last 2 episodes. John and Glenn directed the pilot of This Is Us and directed several episodes throughout the course of the series. So they're great world builders. And if you go into the production office, they have like a whole design of how the city is set up, like where the rich people are, where the working class people are, where people come to gather for like community gatherings, etc. Like there was so much thought put into it. Like how big would it have to be? What's the size of the hangar? Like all of that shit that nerds love. Like you would come in and be like, this shit slaps. You know what I'm saying?
I need you to like send some pictures or like post them somewhere.
I need to see you some pictures. I got you. From nerd to nerd, I got your back. So doing all of that, and then the psychological components of like, in order for people to have some semblance of normalcy, right? The sun's got to go up, the sun's got to come down, right? Like, what are you going to eat? You can't deal with meat with the release of methane. So what is the food that they're going to have? Like to the costume design, like, are they going to have like a button factory? Will they be able to make zippers readily? Most of the things will probably have drawstrings, unless the wealthier people probably have more variety in their wardrobe than the people who are more working class. So like all these little things that were, none of it was taken for granted. I nerded out thoroughly before I even stepped on set.
Love it. That was a 10 out of 10 answer, but James, anything to add?
Nothing to add to that. Nothing to add to that. I'm glad we had the zippers made.
Xavier had very few zippers. There was a lot of drawstrings.
Yeah.
Comfier that way. Come on, guys.
There you go.
The next thing I want to ask you about is, one of my favorite things was how the show kind of presented this look at grief, because obviously we all relate to that. We all can understand that feeling. But while it might not always dislocate you physically the way you're dislocated in the show in a whole new underground bunker, it disrupts every single part of your life. Why do you both think that was such a powerful way to present that emotion to audiences?
Mm-hmm.
Well, my character specifically isn't dealing with I imagine the levels of grief that Xavier's character and Sinatra's character even were having to what they were having to go through. But I think just probably it's an unavoidable part of the human experience, and this is what Dan does so expertly, is he can take this concept of this world that has been created, and then you throw in this catastrophic event, and you see who people really become in those moments. And grief, I think, to me, pulls into focus every emotion, but also what is important to you. What do you stand for? And for some people going through it, that person or whatever it is that caused the grief is gone forever. And here you are having to deal with that it's part of the human condition. And also to figure out a way of going through that and not around it, right? We learned that like you have to actually hit that head on. But yeah, I think it adds it's a storytelling mechanism, of course, for this, because it provides a lot of drama to the story. But yeah, maybe you could speak more to that as well as the character who's dealing with that.
Yeah, I find like the response to grief is very interesting, and everybody has their own take. I think sometimes it hardens you. I think in maybe Sinatra's case, there's a hardening that takes place. I think a numbing to a certain extent for Xavier, who's just trying to figure out a way to continue to do his job and make sure that his children survive. Like, I think he's more in survival mode than he's like, oh, what wonderful opportunities to explore now that I have a new lease on life. He doesn't feel that because he's missing his partner, right? the regret that your character goes through. Like, listen, you and Sinatra too, you may not express it the same way that Sinatra is, but the wealth of responsibility for the loss that has transpired is enormous.
Yeah.
You know, and so you're right. It does bring into focus what is important. I would say for Xavier, just like putting one foot in front of the other, because I don't think he knows how to fully live. I think he knows how to survive. That's where he is right now. Yeah.
Amazing answers, amazing show. I gotta go. I have more episodes to watch, so I will talk to you both soon. And congratulations, really, it's incredible.
Very sweet of you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a great rest of your day, guys. Bye.
You too.
Professional artists and professors, maybe a nerd who's just like you, talking about the things that you like too. So I invite you to the NOC. In full color, you see me. The hard knock life, comics, movies, and TV. Yeah, pop culture with a different perspective. Watch it on your screen, hit play, so check this.